Well, New York Yankee baseball player Yogi Berra was famous for his funny and pithy statements. And one that comes to mind is this: when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Have you ever been at an intersection and you didn't know which way to go? I mean, this doesn't happen much anymore these days because of the reliance on map apps on our phones. But even with those, you can turn them on a little bit too late. They can't pinpoint your exact location and know which way to turn. You find yourself guessing a little bit or going by feel. You know, our phones enable us to know so much these days. We can find out when it's going to rain next, what's trending, the latest news, wars and conflicts, sports scores, recipes, symptoms to illnesses. They can really lull us into a false, state of control. But if I don't know something, I can find it right here. It's interesting that with all of this information we have, we really still lack so much control. With all this information that's at our fingertips, our world is so much bigger now, and we're faced with really how very little we really do control. And this leads to a state of being really overwhelmed, which for some of us can be so stress-inducing. It leads us to eating or drinking or doom scrolling too much. We become overwhelmed or overcome by racing thoughts, or we have difficulty making decisions. We get kind of brain fog, and we even lose sleep, which makes us a real joy to live with. But what if we weren't meant to know about everything going on in this world? What if we weren't meant to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders? A proverb that's helped me throughout my life when I have found myself in over my head is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says this: "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take." Guys, I got to tell you, this proverb has served me better than Apple or Google Maps in giving me direction in my life. And maybe this was some of what Jesus was talking about when He said that God blesses the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there's more of God and His rule. God blesses the people who've come to an end of themselves and realize that they cannot control hardly anything, that God is who they really need. It reminds me of something that Dallas Willard once said: "If our walk with Jesus doesn't work at all, or only in fits and starts, that's because we do not give ourselves to it in a way that allows our lives to be taken over by it." Guys, sometimes we want to know the will of God more than we want to know God, but we can't do the will of God without the heart of God. So, this week, when you're tempted to go to your phone, or you feel the stress level rising, seek God. Seek God's guidance in all the decisions, big and small, that you have to make. Or practice prayer and reflection. Or 3, be open to paths that may not align with your initial plans. And then finally, trust God's timing, even when things don't unfold as you'd expect. And guys, I promise, as you face the complexities and challenges of life, I know that you'll find comfort and strength in trusting God completely and allowing His wisdom to guide your steps and to shape your paths.